Yeah, there we go.
Exactly.
Yeah, what the heck?
I know, right?
Don't hurt your back. Yeah, I know. We're picking up the winners.
Yeah, we're gonna as soon as we find out who is the winner, we're gonna go and pick them up.
I feel like if it's gonna be here, it should just be there.
It doesn't have batteries. It doesn't matter.
Okay. I mean,
No.
whatever works. All right, let me check this. All right, guys, let me know how the audio is. All right, as you can tell, we're not in the normal place where we normally
Where
doing
you guys
this.
are?
We're in the basement at Fernando's house.
Yeah, my basement.
We're in the basement. There's a Christmas tree over here. It's looking really festive. And
Yeah, it is.
So a little bit of backstory. This morning when we got into the shop, the Wi-Fi router was
Audio is good. Thank
dead. It didn't work. The lights were on, but we had no Wi-Fi. I unplugged it, plugged it back in, and the lights never came back on. So we have absolutely no. Just like Kilroy right there. We had absolutely no Wi-Fi. We couldn't get anyone out there because it's business Wi-Fi. They weren't going to do anything for us until tomorrow. So we had to come up with a plan B. And Fernando lives the closest to the store. So here we are.
Okay, I can see that the audio is not syncing
Oh,
with the video.
it's not?
No, I can see that.
All right. Let me.
I mean, that's just gonna be like that, man. Audio is getting out of sync. Yeah, I know.
All right. Let me try something here. Let's go here. Nope, I didn't want to do that. Settings. All right,
Yeah.
Let me see if I can audio. What I might be able to do. All right, let me try this, guys. Audio. Just not camera. Audio. Give me audio. And let me try this. Default. Okay, so this won't sound as good, but let me does
something.
Let me see if this helps you guys out as far as syncing up the audio to what we're saying. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See if this does anything. Helps you out. Might not sound as good, but if it syncs up the audio, then let me know, and we'll try it from there. So we wanted to make sure we could at least give, because this is going to be like the last show of the year.
Yeah. So we ended up in my basement.
I think it got a bit worse. It's possible. It's possible it got worse. There's a delay. All right, so let me go back to.
So let's go back to the next.
Yeah, all right.
To the
So
first one.
we'll just have to pretend like we're in a anime, and let me go to.
I need my hole there.
I know you should have brought it, man.
I know.
Should have brought it. All right, so that's as good as it's gonna get. Sorry, guys. So, anyways, all right. So, welcome to the show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It is the 12 days of Christmas, so we get to have that fun. We're going to be giving away a Sony radio. So, how cool is that?
Well, if you grab my laptop, so we can go and see. Today we have Sony, right?
Okay. Let's see what this does.
Number 3.
No, I just want to see what this does. Didn't do anything. Okay. You want to go to 3?
Yeah, please.
What's that? No, I didn't do it. All right.
There you go. So, of course, as you see, we already did ARC and all that stuff. Today is Sony. Tomorrow, and then go on and on.
So, really? Go on and on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say the other ones because why? Today is Sony.
Okay.
So now, you got your numbers?
No, I want to try. I'm going to try this. Hold on. Dang it. Why isn't that
What
working?
are you trying to do?
Well, I'm trying to remember how to get the, like that to come up, but with us superimposed in it. And I don't remember how to do that. There we go. Now I feel festive. I wanted to get the Christmas,
Okay.
It's not the tree branch. The tree branch is no longer in my face.
All right.
Yeah.
we have
Right.
some
So
ornaments in here. Let me grab one.
All right. So hang on. Let me get back into this. And then my computer is going to make like all kinds of funky noises. because it's just hating life at the moment.
Of course. Audio's good now. All right, so all good. Perfect.
Yeah. I mean, and we'll be doing a Q&A, guys. So bear with us. We're going to get to the Q&A.
There he is.
All right. So the answer to the question was Sonus Sunny. And I think pretty much everybody got that. And honestly, it was pretty cool because for me, the acronym Sony is one of those funny things that Sound of New York is one of the things that a lot of people have like equated Sony to. But that's really not the case. It's kind of like that came later, I believe, and it was probably just some nerds sitting in an install bay or some home audio guys or some movie execs who are like, we should make it mean something. And they're like, Sound of New York. But it means Sonus Sunny. And that has to do with audio and then the young attitude that the two companies, that the name brought to it, which combined it into Sony. So I'm sure most of you guys read that today. Congratulations. We all know something that we didn't know when we started. We have, what do we have? We had about 350 people enter today. So congratulations for doing that. Nice. We've selected 5 random contestants that entered.
You only have 4.
No, I have 5.
Just kidding.
I was going to say that's 5. Please, we've had enough struggle today. I have a Lewis Preston. I have just Ryan. I have Elroy Sanchez. I have Leslie Zettler. Yeah. And Daisy Rivas. That works
Daisy
too.
Rivas.
Yeah, either one of those. So we have 5 winners. We have 1 Sony radio to give. And I'd like to move this along. So I tell you what, we're going to do something that we never do. We're just going to draw 1 name, and they're going to win. So I would really like to get to the Q&A. So for those of you guys that have questions, start queuing those up. I know your suspense is just like, oh my gosh, I want to know. So
stop. Start typing your questions.
Yeah, if you have questions, go ahead and get them in. And Fernando will go through that. Can I have the container?
The container.
Yeah. This. All right. So 5 numbers in here as always. What is tomorrow, anyways? Oh crap!
What?
We gotta go back.
Yes. Yeah.
We didn't film.
Yeah.
We're never getting out of here tonight. All right, guys. So number 4. Leslie Zelter is the winner. Congratulations.
Of this Sony
you get the Sony radio. That's right. That was that simple. I know. The suspense was killing us all, but you won.
You can see
so it. I showed it. I did it.
Yeah, but like
it's fine. It's number 4. You're the winner. As the week draws to an end, congratulations. That's pretty awesome. It's pretty cool.
I win.
Yeah, I need to figure out how the heck I got to get rid of this on here. There we go. So those are gone. All right. So
congratulations to the winner.
Thank you. I was going to say, help me out here, man.
Yes. I just want to go back again and say, what's up, Jim? How you doing? Marty Dean is in the house. What did you win? Nothing yet. But you can win tomorrow if you participate.
So we're just going to drop them Moscone. They can be the sponsor of the show for the for this next 15 minutes. You guys remember the Moscone 430 that Fernando has in his car?
Yes.
He's reluctant to give back.
No.
So, yes. Thank you, Moscone, for being a proud sponsor. If you guys haven't checked out the new Moscone, I would strongly recommend checking out the new 430, if nothing else, just to see how cool the amplifier is.
Yeah.
Because it is a very, very exciting 4-channel amplifier.
We're checking in 45 degrees.
Dude, it was 48 this morning.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like it.
I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's just what it is.
Yeah.
What do you got?
This is where are you streaming from?
We're streaming from Fernando's basement.
Yeah. Very
Yeah,
much.
our Wi-Fi was dead in the shop today, so we had to call an audible, and here we are. So it's not as exciting as it normally would be, but hey, we had to do something, and we wanted to make sure we got out to you guys today because. What's up, Lance? How's it going, buddy?
What's up, buddy?
So, Josh. What's up, Josh?
Yeah. All right. So I got that one.
My buddy has an 03 Isuzu Rodeo, saying there's no pass front. Wait, there's no pass front speaker. Did Isuzu cut one out in the door? Oh no, passenger side. So in the Isuzu Rodeo 03. I thought the speakers were in the dash, like down low in the next to the glove box. Now, whether there's a speaker over in the glove box side, then there might not be, but that was a football 4-inch speaker. So it was it was a 2-hole 4. You got to take the whole glove box off and put it in. I believe it was either you had to take the whole glove box out, or it was just the panel that comes off. But it's a 4-inch. Those were fun because we'd always build door panels for those.
Yeah.
And put like 6s and go crazy. What is that Mike Rios
is that Mike Rios with the Kia Stinger?
Sorry, I'm like I can't read it here.
I know that's what I.
You're much closer to it. I can't see shit. Yes, that is Mike Rios with the Stinger. He did sell the Stinger. Now he has a Chrysler 300 that has no stereo in it. It's kind of sad. Talked to him today though. He says hi.
There he is.
Sure is. Yeah. Wait.
Someday. That's not it, but anyway.
How important is it? How important is the location of the mid bass on a 3-way active setup? I mean, it's very important, especially for directionality, as far as whether you're trying to, for one, to make mid bass, you have to have a good solid mount for the mid bass. You have to have some kind of a back chamber on the mid bass. It can't just you can't just put it in a baffle that has no back area to it. It really needs to be isolated between the front and back of the speaker, so that they don't share any of the same air movement, because you'll just get cancellation. In previous old car stereo guys would mount them up in the kick panels as far forward and build enclosures behind them. Brian Mitchell from ARC, when we were looking at the Challenger. Sorry. They had put the 8-inch in the kick panel, and they had actually ported it up through the frame rail of the car because it needed airspace. But they did that so they could get a bigger speaker and move it more forward in. As far as location goes, that's some of the things you have to consider. The bottom part of the door is obviously the most popular place to put it. There's nothing wrong with that location. It's just how much time you spend to make it sound the best that it can. I can tell you over on Emma, everyone was using kick panels. Very few people were putting them in the doors. And then when they did put them in the doors, they were severely making these crazy mounts. We had Nick on, and we were talking about the mount he made for his Chevy back when he had the Focal Flax, and he won Aggieland with it. It was like plywood, sound treatment, metal, plywood, going different grains, the amount of work that he put in to just make the baffle. If you caught the Porsche baffle that we made for the Carbonate Morels, it was made out of 5 pieces of 1/2-inch Sentra or blown PVC to make it extremely rigid. When you put your leg, the door panel was just swinging, figuratively speaking, because of how much mid bass was coming from those doors. So it's location, and then how much work you put into that location is probably the most important thing about the mid bass. So yeah.
So the Rios project starts this weekend.
Ooh, because I'm guessing he probably needs to have it done by.
Well, he want to take it to Knowledge Fest.
Oh, yeah. So if Mike gets the car done, we'll have Rios car number 2 that we get to do a video on. Can't wait. That'll be fun.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Stinger sub any good?
Yes.
The one on the Jeep?
Okay, so there's 2 Stinger subs now. There's the one that comes in the Jeep, And now there's also the new Stinger subwoofers that are available on the website. Those Stinger subwoofers are only available on the website. They're not for retailers like us. They're not available to us. They're only available to consumers like yourself. So as far as whether those are any good, I'm just going to go with the assumptions that they are. But we will, unless somebody buys one and brings it in, the chances of us seeing it is pretty slim. But there's more to that story, but we can't talk about it yet. So stay tuned. We'll have some interesting information. I got to get rid of this pen. I'm going to play with it the whole show. Stay tuned for more information on that one. That's all I can say there.
All right.
Best way to add an aftermarket sub and amp to a 2022 Elate with
Elantra with the factory Bose system.
Depends on how big you want to go. If we're just talking like one sub, so it says sub, not subs, plural. Like a Key 501 is pretty magical because it'll go in and it'll fix the issues that you're going to run into, like the equalization from the factory. If it can fix up to 12 dBs of issue, meaning we had a car that we were looking at for a customer the other day where we took the IRTA2 out. And because he was having all kinds of problems. Like, have you ever looked at the signal? He's like, no. And I was like, well, why are you in here asking us all these questions? You've never actually looked at, you're telling me what's wrong with it. You've never actually seen it. And there was one hell of a subsonic filter in this thing that it had to be like 48 dB of like cutoff at like 32 Hertz. It just went gone. And the key is only capable of bringing back 12 dB. So when we were turning it off and turning it on, you could see that it was helping, but there was a lot of issue there. So something like a Key 501 is a really nice little amplifier to add to one of these more complex factory systems because it'll DEQ it. It'll help with the bass roll off. It'll do all the cool things that you want. Now, if you're like, I want more than 500 watts, then you could look at getting a key lock and adding any amplifier to it that you want, and then it'll make any amplifier attached to it a key amplifier. So it'll do all the work for you, and that would be what we would do. Like if you came in, I'd be like, we're going to sell you this.
We're going to sell you this.
Hello, 5-star guys from Box Boys. Was that who we were talking about? Was that?
No, I don't think so. Okay. No, Box Boys.
How you doing,
Box Boys?
What you
gonna do?
Audio Sound Solutions.
There you go.
Very nice.
2022 Toyota Tacoma with the JBL system. How to add an amplifier. Today's show is gonna be how to add an amplifier to your car.
It might be, but I'm not gonna change it because I'm not gonna edit this one. So I believe there's no Amp Pro for that. However, you can go on to pack-audio.com and check to see if they make the Amp Pro for it. If they make an Amp Pro for it, they're going to make another device called a Sub Pro, which is essentially the same thing as an Amp Pro, but just for subs. So that would be my first. I'm going to pack-audio.com, see if they make a Sub Pro for it. If they don't make a Sub Pro for it, then like I told the other gentleman where I was like, you might want to look into getting a key lock, I would get a key lock. Or a Key 501, depending on how much power you need, and let that do the magic of fixing the nonsense that JBL did to the car.
Saludos, Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
All right. Time to toss my Dayton DSP.
Don't toss it. Give it away. I've given away too.
Maybe nobody wanted
it.
Looking at the DM608, but hearing that it's not so good. What about the Twig 88 instead? Noise aside, it is that much better than the Dayton DSP processor.
So here'd be my only answer to that. The people that are hating on the DM608 haven't been following along. There's nothing wrong with the DM608. There's nothing that it can't do 100% better, and I'm going to defend the DM608 because it's an amazing DSP. It's, for one, easy to use, which is important because not to take away from the Tweak. I like the Tweak. I have it. I personally own both, so it's okay. If you've never looked at either one of the pieces of software, well, that would be the first thing you need to do is look at the two pieces of software and see what makes sense. Now, as far as the reason why a lot of people kind of go, oh, on the DM608 is because it uses a graphic EQ, which means it has 31 bands of adjustment. 30 bands of adjustment?
Yeah,
31, whatever.
It's
220, 221, whatever it takes. Bands of adjustment, as opposed to a parametric EQ like the JL, where it only has a handful of bands, but you can adjust what you want those bands to be, as well as how wide you want the Q. Now, in answer to that, when we had Matthew on a week ago, we talked about how the new software for the DM608 is coming out. So that is going to add the parametric EQ to it. So all the things that the Tweak has, it'll do. Plus, if you don't want to use that, you can use it as a graphic EQ. A lot of people that are new to DSP will like the graphic EQ because if you're looking at an RTA, there again, you match band for band and you can do quick, easy adjustment that way. Whereas as you grow, you'll be able to turn on the parametric side of things and maybe fine tune some of the adjustments that you have. The idea is that with a parametric EQ, you actually make fewer adjustments to achieve a greater outcome. But the DM608, according to Matthew, I mean, they have this week to get it out on time, so I'm not really holding my breath. But within the next 2 weeks, we're going to see the new software for that, and that's going to bring in some of the features. But I'm a big fan of the audio control. We use a ton of them, as you see from our pictures. But no, download both pieces of software and see which one makes sense to you. Both of them are going to be better than the one you had. So,
Earbuds with Gailey. He got a new amplifier. Yes, he does. I don't think we're gonna be able to test one of those.
I mean, it's kind of. I mean, listen, I love Gately. He's a great dude. His wife is freaking awesome. Both of those guys are some of the coolest people we've ever had the pleasure of hanging out with. Yeah. But it's. I wouldn't want to do that because it's really not our thing. Like, I'm not into big.
No, and at the end of the day, if you want to see them, Steve is gonna do that. He's gonna.
I would send it to Steve for sure.
No, he already has.
I know.
So.
I'm aware of that. I have this thing that's the internet. Now, don't get me wrong. I would love to have the Gately amp screwed to the wall because it's gigantic and it's a Gately amp, so it's pretty cool looking. So
I'd rather to have a box.
I would rather have a box too.
Yes.
Because I would rather have a box.
I would rather have a plexiglass.
With the Gately on it?
Yes, of course. Like the last one that he made, I was like, oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
He makes awesome stuff. All right. What amplifier would you use? Audio Control LC 1300 or the Kenwood 901.5?
What am I doing? It's really, I guess, the question. There's a substantial price difference there, okay? We don't use a lot of the LC audio control amplifiers because if I'm going to sell you something at that price, I'm really going to try to bump you up to get into the D for the, because eventually you're going to need a DSP, all right? And the cost benefit of just buying it from the get-go, like if you can afford the LC in like 2 months, you could afford a D because it's not that much more. It is more, but it's not that much more. Then it makes sense to do that. Whereas like the 901.5 value-wise, dude, that's hard to beat. That's hard to beat. So we sell, like, I'm going to sell you a D5 1300. And then if you have a factory radio or something like that, or an aftermarket radio, I should say, sorry, and where it's like you're never going to do a DSP, then I'm just going to sell you a 901.5 because it has enough power to do everything on it. When we dynoed that thing, we were getting like 800 watts out of the sub channel.
Yeah. So,
I mean, it's plenty of power. But yeah, so
there you go.
Would a mid bass that is mounted in the door panel prefer a low pass? After seeing Andy's chart, it seems that speakers get directional once they start playing higher frequencies. Well, it's mid bass. You're going to put a band pass on it. So you're going to put a low pass and a high pass on it. Andy, I believe, recommends 80 hertz, which is essentially what we recommend. It just depends. Now, that top frequency is going to depend on what the mid range is doing. So let's say you cross it over at 350. So it's going to be 350 to 80. It is going to get directional, but that's okay because that's what time alignment is for. Time alignment is going to help you. Like when we're sitting in a car, if we play the mid bass and we check the alignment for the mid bass, we play the mid range, we check the alignment for the mid range, we play the tweeter and check the alignment for the tweeter. And then we'll go back and play the tweeter in the mid range, make sure those two work, and then we'll bring the mid bass into those two because chances are good if we've gotten those two, the third one is going to be easy to add into it. And as long as all of those play nice together, then we're done. But yes, sometimes you'll get in there and you're like, there's something wrong. You turn the mid bass off, and it's like, okay, something wrong with mid bass. So then you have to sit there and level match those so that it steers it where it needs to be.
Right. All right.
Question about DM608 to sub amp. After I get my sub channels 5 and 6 tuned where I want it, oh geez, man, I swear, where I want it, and the DM608 is back up to 0 dB, started at -3 on input. Is it okay to use the digital multimeter at the sub amp to apply gain overlap? Yes, you can do that. Can I just do this?
Yeah, just do the whole screen.
I'm working on it.
There you go.
That wasn't what I want to do. Why is it? This thing sucks. Okay, keep going.
All right, so I got this one. Round or square crimp on the wire ferrules. I need to get ferrules and a crimper to do a better job. Oh,
I don't know.
Oh
it's just
God.
losing its mind. I'm not accomplishing what I'm trying to do
You
here.
just hit that square right there. There you go. That's it.
No,
Yeah, because I read the questions and you.
I can read the question.
Oh, perfect. Yes. All right.
It
So
depends on the size of the wire. Okay, and it
Yeah.
also. So, for example, I prefer the hexagon crimp on the smaller wires.
Okay.
Okay, which is 6 sides.
Yeah.
That will only work up to like a 12 gauge ferrule.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 12 gauge ferrule, and then we have to switch to a square, which is 8 gauge. 4 gauge, we're still running into trying to find a crimper that works well enough, but those are typically going to be square as well because they're bigger. 0 gauge is going to be square. It's kind of like a not. Yeah, it's square-ish. If you use it at all, most people don't use them, but we have a 0 gauge crimper that does a pretty good job. You just have to make sure that it'll fit into the amplifier's hole. But honestly, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. It's just like if you get it crimped, then you're rocking and rolling to make it nice and like a lug. So as long as it fits into the hole, don't lose any sleep over it. All right, we should be back up.
There you go.
Yeah, we're back. All right, we should be back up. As you see, you gotta turn the audio off there.
Sorry, guys. I just have to put the
rabbit ears
rabbit ears a little bit to the right.
All right, so the fact that I was blind kind of made it all screw up. So sorry about that. All right, should I look for a one-channel amp with DSP to power the 12-inch Stinger tailgate subwoofer, or would a non-DSP amp suffice? We use a couple different amps to do that particular one. You could do a Key 501 if you want something that's got a DSP built into it. One of our favorite amplifiers to use for that, believe it or not, is Alpine makes their little 200 watt by 1 hideaway amplifier. We use that quite a bit to power that. And we also use the 5th channel on an 8205, or it's actually called the XM 8005, I think now, which is the marine version of that amplifier. But there's 3 combinations there that would work on that. Now, if you have, I'm guessing you don't have the premium audio, so then you're okay. But if you do want to add audio, the DSR1 solution for that is my favorite.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
I'm sorry.
What are you sorry
I'm
about?
just trying to find all the questions.
No, that's fine. Just pull up the next one.
There's no more questions.
That was no really.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows.
What do you think? Well, I saw the number. What do you think about the Z Audio Nakamichi PA605? Thinking about running that with the Hertz Cento. What the heck is? There's a Z Audio PA605 up front with a PX in the back. Alpine ILX W650, Kenwood, or the 1037. Depends on the car. The 1037 is definitely a more feature-rich radio than the ILX W650. So if you're looking for something that actually has a bigger, more robust EQ pack in it, the 1037 is going to offer that. Not to take anything away from the ILX W650. It's a great entry-level Alpine radio. Like, it's solid. It's been in the line for like 4 years now. I will say this: if you decide to go with the ILX W650, it'll need a software update. As soon as it comes out of the box, it needs a software update, always. But other than that, I mean, everything seems like the Centos are nice. I'm not familiar with that particular amplifier, but yeah, I'm down with that. The Hertz speakers are really nice speakers. Do I need a fixed 86 if I want to install a JL RD400 and a C165 in the Corolla 2022? Sounds awful. Thanks. Okay. The fix is not real. The fix is made to fix, not make sound better. Okay. So that there's kind of a fix is designed to DEQ something and get it back to as flat as possible. So you need an RTA. You need the ability to actually see what you're doing. It's not a magic box that you just hit a button. So it's not like a clean sweep where you just did some stuff and it fixed everything. An easier solution to the problem would be, there again, the key lock. I know I've said that like 10 times on the show today, but it's an automated process. It will flatten out the signal and make it sound better if that's what you're trying to do. Keep in mind, though, that once you've done that, even with the tweak, that's why they make the tune.
This is the fix.
I'm sorry.
That's gonna need a tweak.
So you're still going to need the tweak to actually make it sound better. So, you're only doing half of the puzzle. That's why, when you get into a bigger DSP, let's say like a Helix DSP, where you have de-equalization and equalization built into it, or a Moscone DSP, where you have de-equalization and re-equalization built into it. Those products are made to where JL made the tweak and they made the tune. So the tweak fixed it, the tune made it sound better. So when you say that, you're only doing half of the problem. You're not going to make it sound better. You're just going to remove all the stuff that the factory did, which might actually make it sound worse. Because at least using the factory signal, there's some form of equalization there. Might not be great, but there is. So if you fix it and remove everything, then you need something to make it sound, because you basically just washed the chalkboard. Now you need another piece of chalk to write on it. And that's what, so you'd need a tweak and tune. But at that point, I'd look at probably a Helix or a Moscone.
A tweak and a fix.
Yeah, we'll tweak and tune, fix. Yeah, anyways, we know what we're talking about. Okay. Hi, what's up, Ada? How's it going?
So you need the fix, then the tweak to get the tune.
Stop.
What's up, man?
All
right,
so it says I did RTA and is really bad equalized, not flat at all. Okay, that's okay. So let's talk about that for a minute. I can just leave that up for a second. We did a video. A live video with the audio control, because the audio control, we had a Honda Accord in the bay, and what we were showing was auto equalization with the audio control and also the effect it has in the car. So with the audio control processor, it has an electrical RTA, and then we had the audio control acoustical RTA in the car. So we had both screens showing. And what we were looking at is the signal coming in and how jacked up it was. Then we were looking at the signal going out that the speakers are actually producing. The two obviously don't match because the electrical signal is EQ'd to get an acoustical response. So what we were showing that is a lot of people get hung up on let's get it flat. And it's not necessarily let's get it flat. Let's just do what we need to do to make it usable. Okay, in some cases, getting it flat as humanly possible and starting over is totally necessary, but not in all cases. And what we were showing in this video was we de-EQ'd the signal, and it did a ton of stuff, and it got it super flat, all right? But then when you looked at what it did to the acoustical side of things, it was a nightmare, okay? Because the people that know way more than us that tune the car got rid of most of the problems that we were going to have if we were to have a flat signal, okay? So making something perfectly flat isn't always the best move. It's sometimes it makes more sense to just see what's going on and then fix that, okay? So if that made any sense, that's really where I would look at that. Don't worry about what's coming in. Worry about what's coming out acoustically. And there again, it's not going to be great, but what do you need to do? Like, and the other thing too that you have to keep in mind is flat sounds like shit. All right, now that's something else. Is if you have an aftermarket radio, if you've ever owned one, and it's got a bass and treble on it, my guess is if you use those, you never leave them at zero because that sounds terrible. Well, that's flat. So, we get hung up on these little tiny things. Oh, it's not flat. Of course it's not flat. Flat sucks. Flat's boring. Flat's not. There's no character to flat. There's no liveliness. The tweeters are dull. The mid-range is, and the mid-bass goes. So you should never aim for flat. You should aim for something that sounds good or great or amazing. And that won't ever be flat. I can tell you that right now.
The thing is, like, we always talk about, like, you got to flat the signal.
Well, no, we don't ever talk about that.
No. But normally it's like,
we don't say that. They say that. All the other goofballs
I'm just saying,
out there.
like,
and that's fine.
Even in your
practice is one. Preaching is one thing. Practice is another.
No, I know, but for example, when the manufacturer put there, like, you have to flat the signal, so you're able to do that. You think right away that it's like the best thing to do is flat the signal.
We also know that most of these people that are saying this haven't been in an actual car in like 15 years.
I'm just saying,
so
you as a consumer get confused, and it's like, okay, I flat the signal, it's gonna be better. No, hey.
I mean, I don't know. I don't ever worry about it.
That's what we make these videos, right?
Flat sucks. Here's the thing. If the manufacturer has done like. There's no reason to cut something only to boost it again. Okay, so that is really what it comes down to. Right. So if the manufacturer has put this sound here, okay, and then you're just going to go in and tear it down only to boost it again, that makes absolutely no sense.
Correct.
Makes no sense at all because it's already at the right volume. Let it come through.
That's the reason why we always see the signal first.
Yeah.
and then you can adjust, so you don't have to go.
Right. There's no
Crazy.
reason to cut
Yeah.
in the game. I mean, again, this is me. This is me talking. This is how I do it.
But he
And
doesn't
somebody
know
else
nothing.
might have a better way of doing it. They might say, "Oh, do freaking great." I don't care.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't care. It's not anything for me to worry about.
all right. Next question.
Looking for SQL. It's lovely. Mid base to handle 250-ish watts at 2 ohm. Ooh, any suggestions? We'll be replacing the Focal KRX3 4 ohm mid bass speaker to take advantage of the Helix P6. I would look at the Blam stuff. I think Blam is going to be where you're going to want to go with that. That's going to be, check out the Blam. They kind of, the 2 ohm thing, they kind of do that. So
Yeah. All right.
Almost 45 minutes of pure heartache.
I know.
How do you like the Edge Pro 6.5 mid-bass speaker? What is that?
I don't know what's the Edge Pro.
They're cheap and I've never seen them.
I never seen
Well,
I mean,
say,
we're working
question,
that way.
Jeff Bounce.
Yeah.
I always say it wrong and I get yelled at for it. I'm not familiar with those speakers, man. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Eclipse MB Chord Soundstream US and ADS. Yeah, it sounds like all the stuff that went. Audio control, EQ, so all the original. A Tweak 88 from watching your channel. It's a learning curve, but wow, I just thought it sounded good. Hey man, Tweak 88. It's an awesome DSP. Okay, I love the Tweak 88. I'm not. We talked a lot on the show. I'm not dissing the Tweak 88. I love that. I love their software. I love what they do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of those. Hey.
Download it, play with it, see if
Play.
it actually makes sense for you.
One of the things I love.
Yeah.
Okay, so just in case any of the JL guys out there think, oh, he's big. No, one of the absolute coolest things to me in the JL software is the ability to have dual EQ up at the same time. So you can literally have that over/under EQ, and you can pick. Like you can have the tweeters sitting on top of each other. You can have the tweeter in the mid range. You can have the mid range and the mid bass. You can have any 2 EQs up at the same time for adjustment. And to me, that is single-handedly the most useful, coolest feature, period. Like, if nothing else, that one thing, to me, makes their software badass.
All right, Dan, DS18, the MXL6 crossover active 6-ways. We never played with that one, so I have no idea if that's any good,
Okay, so, all right, but the easiest thing to think about is like this. Okay, if you're going to do a 3-way set, here's what you need the crossover to have. And then if it has that, then you're golden. So you need a channels 1 and 2, more than likely, need to have a 10-time multiplier switch, meaning they have to have the ability to cross over something between 3,200 and 5,000, all right? So make sure it has that. The next 2 channels need to have a band pass, meaning they need to have a high pass and a low pass, because whatever you cross the tweeter over, let's say you cross that tweeter over at 3,200, you need to cross that mid-range over at 3,200 also, because the tweeter is going to be doing, so you stop here and go there. And then you need to play that mid-range down to its lowest point that you're going to play at, let's say 350. The next 2 channels, this is where it gets kind of weird. A lot of the times those next 2 channels aren't a band pass because they're made for a subwoofer. And that's where the crossovers, like external crossover modules, usually fall flat, because you need that mid bass to play up to 350, which it's probably not going to, and then down to, let's say, 70 or 80. So when looking at external passive crossover, they're usually made for subwoofer, mid-range, and tweeter, not mid-bass, mid-range, tweeter. And that's kind of where you almost need an 8-channel crossover, because when you say you're going to do a 3-way system, you're actually doing a 4-way system, because you have tweeter, mid-bass, subwoofer. It's a 4-way system, not a 3-way system. So a 3-way crossover isn't going to be set up to deal with that. Okay. Dean and Fernando are in hiding after accidentally giving out too much information about an unreleased product they've had hit out on them. They're being hunted by a professional bass assassin. You might be right. It feels that way. I swear to God, in his basement right now, it feels that way.
Yeah.
It's a 12-channel output. Perfect. That'll work. If that's what you're gonna need.
I see they coming.
They're coming
They
to get
here.
us. Yeah, they're here. They're totally here. Oh yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. No, if you got 12 channels of output, you're golden.
Yeah.
That should have enough stuff. But what you're looking for to do your system is a tweeter, a bandpass for the mid-range, a bandpass for the mid-bass, and then a sub crossover. So if you got 12 channels like that, you can rock on. Hi, Christian.
All right.
When you guys play the song
Monogram, when tuning, are you not supposed to hear a little bit of distortion on the mid bass? Question mark.
Monogram.
I have no idea. Monogram.
I don't know if I've played that song. There are certain songs that do have distortion recorded in them, which is so much fun. So, for example, most of the what's her name?
I don't know.
Billie Eilish. Most
Billie
of Billie Eilish's stuff has some. The pop stuff
I
has
don't know
some
what's Monogram.
has some distortion in it that's really annoying. I love the song, but it's not something I want to tune a car to.
So he says first couple seconds on the Monogram.
Okay. Do you have an artist?
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I'm trying to to search it, but it doesn't say.
So is it Lucid Dreams?
Solar
It looks
Feels-
like Lucid Dreams. It has to be Lucid Dreams.
one pyramid. Guest speakers arrive.
It's the Paperboy. He wants $2. 80 movie reference. Better Off Dead. That was a good movie. That was good.
Really?
It's a shame to
Playlist.
It's a shame to throw away a perfectly good white boy. No, they're wanting us to put together a playlist. Maybe that's something we can work on in the time off from doing live, is we can work on the playlist. That's a good idea.
Okay.
I like that. We'll definitely get around to doing that. So today is Monday, and that means it's whatever Monday is. Next Monday, of course, is the day after Christmas. We won't be doing a live show then. And the day after that is going to be the day after New Year's. We won't be doing a live show then either. So we're going to be off for the next 2 weeks. We won't be doing a Saturday show. And more than likely, we probably won't be doing much Instagram either, because we kind of take a hiatus from the whole social side of things. But don't worry. We're coming back to a full and booked and crazy-ass schedule.
Mhm.
We'll be in Vegas in, the first week of February. It's like already here. And we'll be doing a ton of live content from there, of course. We'll be there with Morel. That'll be pretty exciting. And then we have a bunch of other content that we're pre-recording, and then we'll be recording actually more content while we're on our social media blackout, as I like to call it. There again, it gives everyone a break. Most people are super busy for these next 2 weeks, so damn shame people throwing away a perfectly white boy like that. Exactly, right, Doug? I just said that. What's up, Doug? It's fresh.
What's up, lady?
Is that a rooster in your hand, or are you just happy to see me? But yeah, so that's what's kind of coming up. We're going to finish out the 12 days of Christmas for the next week. The last day will be Friday. We have a great gift for you on that day. Actually, this week is all we're knocking out of the park. If you have one and you haven't got an email from me, have no fear. They are coming. We're just getting everything organized so that it's nice and easy. Once we get all the address, we can just start shipping stuff out. So, there you go. Would you recommend the SMD CC1? The answer to the question is yes, but let me explain, because I don't want to just say yes and you go out and buy it. Because there's a reason why you need it and a reason why you don't need it. And two examples. If you watched us do the Ground Zero uranium amplifier in Fernando's car, we didn't do a DSP. That amplifier has a full complement of crossovers built into it, so we were able to, it has band passes on every channel, I think. So we were able to use it to do a standard 2-channel stereo and do all of our adjustments at the amplifier. We needed a CC1 in order to do that because I'm not going to eyeball a tweeter crossover and just be like, play a tone? Yeah, that sounds... No. So for that...
Right there.
Yeah, right there. That's the one. No, go back one. There's no way to do that without a CC1. It makes it... streamlines the process, makes it a no guess, and 100% I'm down with that.
That was the purpose of that.
That's why we got it. That is the sole purpose why we got it. Now, if you're doing DSP all the time, you can see where a CC1 would not make any sense. You don't need it. But that's why, to me, it's one of those tools that when you need that tool, that's the only tool to do it. Okay, because it is going, so if you have to do analog crossover, that's it. So is it worth the money? 100%. Would I buy one or tell you to buy one? If you're doing any sort of analog crossover setup, yes. By analog, I just mean turning a dial. So yeah. Can the JBL DSP 4068 be stacked with the Infinity 4-channel DA? So we have to, when you say stacked, if you have two laptops, you can put as many of them in his car as you want. They're not the same software, so you could run the Infinity software on one, or have both of them plugged in. But yeah, there's no reason why you can't have more than one. They're just not combinable, meaning you can't just use one piece of software to control them both. So from that regard, yes, if you're going to use if you have something that you want more power to, it would be easy to have two laptops open to do it, because then you can keep track of everything you're trying to do. If you have to thumb out of each one, that might get a little you're gonna need might have to take notes. This is notes, by the way. But no, you can totally.
That's what it is.
Yeah, you can totally do that. We actually, it's funny. Ad and I were talking about those last night. Thank you. Any suggestions to replace an Eclipse CD besides Fernando's Sony? So what we need is this is that thing. The Sony's been discontinued. All the really high-end single-DIN head units are discontinued. The Pioneer's been discontinued for years, and people absolutely still go googly-eyed over that. The Sony has been discontinued.
Yeah.
Really, I don't think there's any amazing single DIN CD players that
anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. You can do it with one laptop at it. I just prefer to have both screens up at once. I have a hard enough time seeing as it is. If I got to sit there and toggle between pages, I'm thinking of pure easy.
The sanity.
Sanity, yes, sanity. But no, I don't. An Exelon Kenwood would probably, the only thing that kind of comes to mind is get one of the, not the top of the line and Kenwood Exelon, get the next step down, because that's the one that they changed the most. And so they have a 5 series. The 7 series is technically better, but it's usually a year and a half or 2 years older than the 5 series, because they constantly update the 5 and they don't the 7.
Yeah.
When would you recommend getting a second battery for an audio system? It's 100% going to depend on the car that it's going in, especially in a newer vehicle. An older vehicle, it was easy. If you bought a big amp and it was 2,000 watts, yeah, you need a second battery. A newer car, it gets kind of weird, because some of these new charging systems, they're kind of weird when it comes to batteries. And then also, a lot of these amplifiers are way more efficient than they were previously, 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago. So it just depends on what we're putting in a car and whether or not we're going to worry about a battery. Now, if you're getting a 5K, yeah, you're getting a battery, 100%. But if you're looking at 1,000 watt or a 1,200 watt amplifier anymore, yeah, a lot of these power supplies, the Boost power supplies they use, they deal with it, man, and it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
They will rail down the amount of power you get put out of them, but they still don't ever shut off or cause issues. So,
T-shirt idea.
Fix your flat background. I like my signal like I like my girl. Flat. That was terrible. What would be the best speaker and amp upgrade for 2013 BMW 535i?
35i.
It's really going to depend. There is a couple manufacturers out there that make interfacing for BMW. The first one that comes to my mind is what's the? Why am I not thinking of Hertz?
Hertz?
No, the other one.
Focal?
No, not Hertz, but Helix. Match. Sorry, Match. So Audio Tech Fixture makes a product called Match, and those are plug-and-play amplifiers for BMWs. I don't know if they go back as far as 2013, but I would definitely check into that. They make a nice match. Thank you. There. Yeah,
everybody knows.
So as you can see from the comments now, everyone is saying Match. They make a lot of plug-and-play options for the BMW. That is really, and a lot of speakers for the BMW. So it's kind of like the go-to product. So check out Audio Tech Fixture's Match product.
Yeah. There you go.
I guess we're going to see Christian on Friday.
He's coming to collect some.
Dude, we'll be out of town.
We're not going to be here.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, we won't be, but it'll just be, physically we'll be here. Mentally, we're out. We're checking. I checked out like a week ago.
Yeah, we're going to be here. I mean, we're good with everything.
Hey guys, listen. 2022 has been an amazing year. I hope everyone had a great year. I got to do a lot of fun things. Fernando got to do a lot of fun things. Hopefully you guys got to do a lot of fun things. 12 Days of Christmas is still rolling on, so you'll still get to see us until Friday. And then after that, like I said, it's over. Thank you guys so much for taking us over the edge. We hit 200,000 this year, so when we come back in January, we'll be doing a giveaway for 200,000. It's going to be a tool giveaway. We're going to put together a whole big bundle of tools, and somebody is going to get the massive tool set of just lots of fun and excitement and it's going to be like electrical tools, not like screwdrivers and shit. But we're still putting it together, and it's going to be we want it to be big. So a lot of fun there. Thank you guys so much for playing along with us and making this really cool. That's really, I mean, I just can't thank you guys enough. You guys are a great group of guys. We really enjoy everything that you've brought to us to allow us to bring it back to you tenfold.
Yeah.
So hope you guys have a great holiday. I hope you guys have a great new year. As far as the live shows, like I said, this is it. This is it for another 2 weeks. Stay tuned for the 12 Days of Christmas. And other than that, man, you guys have a safe holiday. Let's see you back here, safe and ready to go, and with great questions with all your new Christmas projects. If you didn't get an IRTA2 for Christmas, make sure you save up your money. I'm not saying there's going to be a sale come the first week of January. There might be a sale the first week of January. So if you didn't get one, they didn't give you a stocking stuffer IRTA2, then definitely you might want to check that out. Right. I can't switch over to your laptop because, maybe I can. Oh, can I? Yeah, there it is. There's the IRTA2 right there. So definitely check that out. If you haven't, it's calling your name. Great Christmas present. But you guys have a great holiday, and we will see you when we see you. See ya.
Bye, guys.